Hello, and thanks for joining us today. Welcome to From Scrum Master to Product Owner, Transitioning Roles Within the Scrum Team. I'm Andrea Lombard, a Senior Grants and Project Strategist for the Encore Institute of Social Impact, and I've recently transitioned from operating as a Scrum Master to a Product Owner within the same Agile team. Before I tell you about that transition, let me set the stage for a bit and tell you a bit about Encore. Encore is a consulting firm dedicated to building the success of nonprofit agencies. We provide services that address organizations' most pressing concerns and needs, including funding, organizational infrastructure and health, and social impact strategies. Since 2011, Encore has increased the nonprofit sector's impact through leadership development, the creation of effective and sustainable programs, collaborations, and organizations, and with the development of actionable strategy. Encore Scrums. We started using Scrum principles in February of 2020. So we've been doing this for over 3 years now. And Scrum can look different across organizations as you adapt that framework to work for your agency. Let me tell you a little bit about how Encore uses Scrum. We utilize the framework essentially as it was designed. Initially, when we started, we had one Scrum team and it was our grant team. But as we have evolved in our Agile endeavors, we have added additional Scrum teams. Like many nonprofit agencies, Encore's team members wear multiple hats. And so we are unique from a lot of for-profit Scrum teams in that our product owner and our Scrum Master are also team members with work on the board. I started as the grant team Scrum Master at implementation. So when we launched in February 2020, I was the Scrum Master for the grant team. The role fit really well with my project management and organizational strengths, and we were off on our Scrum journey, and we got started. And because Scrum works, it allowed our team to do more. We added team members and we expanded the variety of our work and increased projects beyond the scope of grant work. Before Scrum, I would estimate that 95% of our billable work came from the grant team. But right now, that number is probably closer to like 65-70% of our work is grant focused, and the rest has expanded to be other additional work. So as advertised, Scrum helped us do more work in less time. Because we were getting grants done faster, we had time to look at deeper and more meaningful work, including things like post-award, bigger federal grants. We have a slate of trainings that we deliver each year. We do strategic planning and board development with the clients that we work with. But the shift away from just grants caused our previous product owner to not be able to spend 50% of her time with the grant team any longer. There were other important demands on her time, and this became an impediment. To address this obstacle in December of 2022, we knew it was time to change, to continue to honor the spirit of Scrum. So to meet this need, I transitioned from the team Scrum Master to be its product owner. And we trained a new Scrum Master from within our grant team to take over those responsibilities. To start this transition, we began by revisiting our 3 Scrum roles and confirming each member's responsibility. We had gotten a little blurred in our lines, working in a way that had become really natural for our grant team now, because it become familiar and second nature to us. We were swarming the roles to compensate for being overcommitted. So to start this process, we had to sit down and look again at what it means to be the product owner, the Scrum Master, and a team member on the grant team. So like all grant teams, our product owner owns the what. For us, because we're also team members, we attend all Scrum events, we maintain the backlogs and prioritize projects. We share the agency vision and direction internally and externally. We collect feedback internally and externally too. The product owner assesses internal capacity and monitors and controls monitors and controls the quality, risk, and project progress. Our Scrum Master owns the process. They attend all Scrum events and lead those events. They help the team to resolve impediments. They look for ways to engage team members and build our culture. Our Scrum Master monitors team happiness and satisfaction and also defines the definition of done and minimum viable product for our team. And finally, the Scrum Master is also responsible to mentor the team on shared ownership and coaches them to be self-managing. Our team members own the how. They attend all the Scrum events and decide how the work will be done. They possess the skills needed to do the work and self-organize to get that work done. They share impediments to progress or success, and they swarm projects that need extra support. Our team members work collaboratively with each other, and unique to probably most Scrum teams, because our grant team are the grant professionals for our agency, they also help our product owner maintain client relationships. My new role, switching from product owner to Scrum Master, required a new mindset and different priorities for me in my place on the team. The biggest difference to me has been the focus. A Scrum Master is very internally focused, while the product owner should be spending 50% of their time externally facing. Although I started my new role as product owner in January, we're still in the midst of this transition. These things can take time. So here are some tips and tricks that I have found that have contributed to the success of my transition so far. It's really important for the product owner and the Scrum Master to have a solid working relationship. You work closely together for the health and success of the team. And so having established that relationship is really important. For us, because we've gotten a bit off track, it was really important to define or redefine, in our case, the responsibilities of this role. When you begin a new job, it's nice to have a job description so you know exactly what responsibilities are in your lane. Also for us, it was super helpful to set a date for the transition. We made the change over the winter holidays, and when we came back as a team in January, our new Scrum Master was in her role and I was operating as a product owner. That demarcation in changing things over, I think helped contributed to the success of the transition. Something that was really hard for me was letting go of my old responsibilities. I had been in that Scrum Master role for 3 years, and its responsibilities were deeply embedded into how I interacted with my team regularly. And so to make that change was hard for me, but it was a critical step that allowed our new Scrum Master to take ownership of her roles. And it also freed up my capacity to become and embrace all of the responsibilities that are assigned to the product owner. Even though we set a firm date for the transition, it's important to leave time to adjust and learn from experiences and to expect some hiccups as you transition. To learn from our experiences, we seek feedback both internally and externally from external stakeholders in our team internally. And we did that by ensuring communication with the team and stakeholders is clear and thoughtful and regular, so that there were no questions about how the team was operating and what they could expect. Beware of imposter syndrome. Our grant team is really successful, and coming into a role that had been done well by my predecessor was a little intimidating. And so I think, and doing it where she still has visibility to it as part of Encore's leadership, same for our Scrum Master, came into the role and she did it with me, and she's doing it right there with me watching. So I think it's important to know that you're in your role for a reason and you were chosen for that, and you have all the skills you need to do that you need to be successful in your role. That said, don't be afraid to make the position your own. It's easy, I think, when you have seen a person do the role to emulate that, but I think it's important to make the role your own and try new things so that you can continue to be agile and progress your team forward. So, in summary, some key things to consider as you transition from a Scrum Master to a product owner would be to define or redefine the roles to avoid any confusion, set a firm date to make that change, and let go of your old mindset and responsibilities and be ready to embrace the new. If you do those things, you can successfully transition from a Scrum Master to a product owner for your team. Thank you.